Bangers and hash.
Room temp recorded. Welcome back
They
to the couch potatoes.
Trust me.
I don't trust anybody right now. It's part of ADHD. No. I actually found that out.
Really?
Yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah, I think it was ADHD where it's like you have trust issues.
Well, like with it's the little things.
Yeah.
Like it's like I'm just gonna double check that. Well, okay, for this perfectly fine example that you said, I'm going to check that you put the right microphone on so that we don't get crappy audio recording. I just checked, and I said I checked, and then you said, to be fair, I did say, go ahead and check, because I don't even trust myself.
And honestly, I only have one microphone at home that my computer's even connected to.
Yeah.
I always check. There's no fucking way it's going to switch to any other microphone, but I'm always just like, is it on the right microphone?
That's funny.
And I pull it up and I'm like, oh yeah. It's good. Welcome back. This is...
To the couch.
Yeah.
You already said that.
He's the Faceless Leon.
And they, yes, are the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
Hello.
And this is... Bangers and Hash, a podcast about movies and TV that we've been watching separately.
Yes.
And it is also now a game show.
Yes.
And we throw pitches at each other like
baseball.
I guess so.
Cricket.
Cricket, yeah, the cricket. We're bowling.
They can bounce a little bit.
Yeah, we're bowling pitches instead. Yeah. So
I actually understand a little bit of how cricket works, and it's fascinating.
Because of Game Grumps?
No, it's because this guy I follow who does baseball stuff started doing cricket stuff by chance, and he explained how cricket works, and I'm just like. And he did so in like baseball terms, so I got all the terms wrong.
Oh, but, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it was. He explained it. And I was like, "That's really interesting." And the Game Grumps did play.
There's so many ways to be out.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Yeah. There's like 52 or something like that.
I can't remember. There's a lot, but I mean, it's pretty straightforward for the most part. Like I get it. At least.
But like the numbers that they decided for the different like rules of the game. Are ridiculous.
There's stats to them, I'm sure.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah. Well, like I think like it was just a game that they were playing. It's like we should make rules to this, right?
Hey Barry, you can't do that. What the fuck, man?
What do you mean I can't do that? Show me where the rules are.
Hold on, I'm gonna write it down real quick. Barry can no longer.
And yeah, you go through the rules of cricket. There's all this archaic stuff. I actually watched a documentary on it one time too.
Oh my god!
That was about sports. It was hosted by Stephen Fry, but nice. I don't remember what it was called.
Stephen Fry's Cricket.
Yeah, and it could have been about cricket now that I think about it. Because there's been like a refusion in it. There's I don't remember what they call it, but it's basically quick cricket now.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, cricket can go on for a long fucking time.
Yeah, traditionally, yes, it can.
It can go on days.
But quick cricket has become like an international favorite.
Yeah, it's getting more popular.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It's pretty interesting, yeah. Maybe that's a sport I can get into.
Hey.
Maybe I'm just white enough. Not that the people playing it are white. There's like all sorts of people.
There's a lot of people.
All sorts of people.
We just wanted to bring it back around.
We're playing a game of our own.
Yeah, we create games.
Yeah, so we're going to pitch shows at each other. That's what we're pitching.
I'm getting rid of this.
Okay, you do that. And to decide who goes first, we usually roll.
Rollies.
And rollies, and this time it's a D8.
D8. So, for those who don't understand, that means a dice that has 8 sides.
Yes.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, they got an 8.
8, baby.
And I got a 2.
That means I go first, right?
Yep, you go first.
Which one do I want to go first?
So, this is how the game works. We're going to take turns pitching shows at each other. We get 5 minutes each. If the other person decides, yeah, I'll check that out sometime. Then the person pitching gets a mash. Yeah, and the person with the most mashes wins.
And if it's a tie, it goes out to you all.
Yeah, but did anybody actually comment on that?
Yeah. We had one person comment, and they said we tied.
Oh,
and so it didn't help at all.
That didn't help at all. So I think that we should come up with a tiebreaker.
We just have a running total right now.
Yeah, I think it should be something like
it's 3v3 right now. 3 points for each.
3 points for each. Okay, well, all right. How about the winner of the next game gets 2? It doesn't really matter who wins. No. We just decided that this was a more fun way to present this show. So we hope you enjoy it.
God, please love it.
This is also a Patreon exclusive show. We're sharing this episode with you because it has a new format and we were interested in showing it to you guys.
And maybe we will want to release old episodes to YouTube. If you don't like that, if you feel like that loses some of the privileged status of being a member, let us know.
Yeah.
Just reach out to us.
And just be a member. That would be great.
Well, you are a member. You're here.
Oh, well, yes, we are, but we had talked about sharing this one on the stream.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so I'm talking to the world audience.
Oh, yeah, to the potatoes.
Yeah, to the potatoes out there.
The lumpy potatoes. They haven't been formed into tots or...
They haven't been fucking peeled yet.
That's what happens when you sit on the couch with us. We peel the layers back.
That's right. We get to what's at the root of it.
Yeah, this is a therapeutic show.
Tasty potatoes.
Yeah, we turn you into food and eat you.
Anyhow, we hope you enjoy this show. If you like it, you can enjoy more of it at patreon.com/Green and Faceless. Let's go. You go first.
Yeah, you figure out that thing. I can't figure out that finagled timer thing.
All right. Ways. You have 5 minutes to pitch me a show.
Oh my god, this is easy. I'm going to pitch you a movie instead. It's called The Little Mermaid. No, not the 1990s Little Mermaid. The live-action remake. When has Disney ever failed you with a live-action remake? I mean, come on. No. I got 5 minutes here. Not at all. They have never failed you. They've always been great. It's absolutely wonderful. You have Halle Bailey as Ariel. This movie's getting a lot of flack because of, Black Little Mermaid. That's not good.
So stupid.
She's great. She has a beautiful voice. She sings the songs well. Her Eric is Jonah Howard King. Same thing. Pretty decent casting. Good songs. He gets his own song that I don't remember in the animated movie. That was interesting. Okay. Really good.
It's probably not in there.
No, I don't think it was. It seemed like it was another one of those, in Beauty and the Beast when Beast had his own song, and it was I love this. I actually really love that song. Dan Stevens had a good voice.
Has a good voice.
Yeah, he was good. But here, you also have the don't think about it. But what you have is they don't change the story too much. It's the same. Ariel is a mermaid. She is the youngest princess of King Triton, played by Javier Bardem.
Nice.
Yes, Javier Bardem. He's good. He does a great, intimidating dad. And you get a little bit of more character from him that you don't get in the animation. Like, in the animation, it's kind of like, dude, you're just a bad father. Like, listen to your daughter, man. And this one, you get a little bit more of, this is his last daughter. They're all still alive, but, they've all kind of moved on to what they're doing. And she is still the youngest. She's still under his, his roof, if you will, his say. And so he kind of just wants to savor it. And yet she wants to leave so fucking badly. She wants to go to the surface world and learn all this stuff. She loves the surface world. She gets all these souvenirs and everything.
There's songs about it.
So many songs about it. And it's so good. It's so good. But people who help her closest friends are people like Scuttle, who in this is not a seagull, but a gannet, a northern gannet.
A northern gannet.
And northern gannets, I found out after watching this movie and complaining about this, I was wrong. They can go underwater for up to 5 minutes. Wow. There's a whole scene where there's a bird talking and singing underwater. That's exciting. It's very exciting.
You could not just you couldn't accept that when you're in the theater.
No,
but then when you got home,
yeah, I found out it was a gannet, not a seagull. It was something that can actually do this, so it made sense. And it's voiced by Awkwafina.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I know you have.
I love Awkwafina. She's great. Yeah. She gets her own song. It's called The Scuttlebutt. It's good. It's beautiful.
Okay.
And Ursula is portrayed by Melissa McCarthy. Pretty good. Okay. Yeah, less screen time than I wanted from it, but I would have really loved to see more of Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. Again, there's some complaints that it wasn't a drag queen.
Right.
The character is very iconic in that regard. Right. So I understand where that one's coming from. But Melissa McCarthy does do a decent job. And last but not least, I mean, there's two other important characters to talk about. There's Daveed Diggs doing the voice of Sebastian, who, in my opinion, was the best part of this movie. His Sebastian is great. And Jacob Tremblay as Flounder.
1 minute.
Okay. Jacob Tremblay as Flounder. A great-looking CGI'd fish. Trust me. It's phenomenal. It's really good. There's nothing wrong with it. I enjoyed it. It's slightly better than the animation. The animation, as I mentioned when we talked about it, you're playing footsie and they're trying to distract me.
I didn't mean to.
Yeah, but no, the animation, as I mentioned, has some issues, and I feel like the live action goes some length to make those issues feel a little more realistic. Like there's more reason behind the decisions and stuff. It's phenomenal. It's the best.
That's it. It's phenomenal. It's the best.
What do you think?
I have a very, very strong feeling that you're lying to me.
Mash or pass?
I think while I am sure that eventually I'll watch this movie, I have to pass. There's no principle behind it.
No.
Like I think like whoa, I'm sinking.
Chair go down.
Anyhow, I think that the whole flack about the racial issues is ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely ridiculous.
It is a fantasy show, and it's about a person who lives under the sea.
Yeah, with a fishtail.
Yeah. And the only thing that I could get on board with, argument against this movie wise, is the Melissa McCarthy not being a drag queen.
Right.
But I do think
they still
that she was a good pick. I think.
Yeah. And I feel like her and the makeup people, like the crew that helped, took a lot of inspiration from drag artists and creating the character still. So it's like they still brought drag influences to it.
And I'm sure that any of our friends out there that do drag hear us probably would be like, no, dude, you're wrong.
I mean, it's fair. I'm not as in...
But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not steeped in the drag community. That said, I am in drag kind of right now.
You are figuring out your lifestyle in the best way possible. I think you're doing great.
Yeah, I would love the drag community. Reach out to me, drag community.
So, what did you really think about it?
My real thoughts. Now that you've rudely passed on it, I don't know why you would want to pass. It's not bad. It's all right. It really is kind of run of the mill for their live action remakes. I'm on record as why are we doing this? There's no reason to remake all these damn movies using so much CGI. It's still an animation in many sense.
Right.
So it's very annoying. Flounder looks fucking ugly. Let me hold on a second while we have the time here. Yes. Let me pull this up. Oop! I typed in floundered.
Oh, no.
Look at him.
Oh, boy.
He's
I
so
mean,
ugly.
he looks like a fish.
He looks like a fish, that's true, but like, oh, God.
See, he could have been that, though.
I
He could have been that.
That would have been fine. I would have been okay with this. That's cute, almost.
Yes.
This thing, that looks like Jacob Tremblay as a fish.
Okay, all
Sorry,
right.
Jacob. Come on the show. We'll have fun.
I don't even think that's a flounder.
No, it's ugly. It's ugly as sin. And Awkwafina as I'm gonna close it.
Yeah.
Awkwafina as Scuttlebutt.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Scuttle. It's fine. It's an Awkwafina performance. You know exactly what you're getting. Like,
Right.
There's nothing new to it. It's not like her Raya and the Last Dragon. I loved her in that.
Right.
That was good.
Yeah.
There was another one that she was in that I liked her in. I can't remember.
I don't know.
Shang-Chi.
But it seems like you did like her in that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't mind her in that.
I
She
thought there
really
was
good.
some live action things. There's several live action instances that I recall you being like, "Why?"
Yeah,
is she
Renfield.
here?
Yeah, Renfield.
Renfield wasn't the only one though.
Yeah, there's others, but like, I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with Awkwafina. Like, she's not bad. It's just she's performing exactly what you want from her, which is it's good. If that's what you want, that's great.
Right, but it doesn't always necessarily fit the movie.
No.
It feels like more like a producer opinion.
And
Like
it fit this
that
character because that is what Scuttle was in the animation. Was this
Right.
very loud, like, I don't know what that is, man. That is a doo-hopper, you know, like
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And it's the exact same, but with Awkwafina's kind of attitude. So it makes sense. It's kind of just somebody confidently telling you things that they just don't know anything
They just
about.
don't know.
and for whatever reason, that works for Awkwafina. I'm not insinuating anything. It just, she pulls that like kind of brash confidence off really well as this character. But that said, is still whenever Scuttle showed up, I was like, oh God.
Oh God.
And then they gave her a song. They gave her a freaking song, and like the whole time my jaw was in my lap. I'm just like, what? Like it's literally just her like a bird shaking its butt, going like, "You been doing the scuttlebutt, scuttlebutt."
Oh no!
Scuttlebutt.
Have you ever seen The Music Man?
Yes, yeah.
Ah, the shapoopy,
Shapoopy,
man.
shapoopy.
I hate the fucking shapoopy.
Look, girl, that's hard to get.
All right, I think it's my turn to pitch.
Yeah, I think I gave it 2 stars, 2.5 stars, somewhere around there.
Gotcha.
It's that kind of a.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Gotcha.
You
You said it was better than animation, which I understand because the plot of the animation is problematic at best.
Yeah, and this feels a little more like she's a young adult.
Okay. Well, here we go. I have 5 minutes. Here, you look at that. You tell me when there's a minute left. I gotta go. I'm going to talk about a real winner that I feel like is almost cheating. Adventure Time.
That's all right. I gotta cheat myself.
The long-running cartoon from Cartoon Network that stars John DiMaggio as Jake the dog and Jeremy Shada as Finn the human. This is a post-apocalypse
Hey, that's
fantasy.
your opinion, man.
I watched the whole thing,
Okay,
so it is very much after a nuclear / demonic event happens.
Nice.
That causes the whole world to get fucked up and mutated. And now there's like candy people and berry people.
That's beautiful.
And all sorts of other things like blob people.
And dogs that can talk.
Also, Tom Kenny plays an ice king, and he's got a magical crown that gives him these ice abilities.
Tell the kids who Tom Kenny is, just in case
Tom
they know.
Kenny is SpongeBob, if you didn't know. And he also
Sorry,
is a
my hands
lot
up
of
while I
other
do it.
things.
I forgot that's part of that.
So also the Ice King is like, he starts out being like their main nemesis, but then also becomes their friend.
And your favorite character.
He's like a very pitiful Vegeta type character.
I love him.
Yes, he is the best. I fucking love Ice King. He is a little problematic in the way that he treats women, though, particularly princesses. Basically, everyone who rules a kingdom is a princess in this world. And that's funny because eventually Ice King starts writing fan fiction that's a gender bend of the whole world called Fiona and Cake.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and that's all wonderful too. And basically, Ice King loves to kidnap princesses, and a lot of the early adventures are Jake and Finn getting the princesses back from that. Princess Bubblegum is like the main princess, her played by Hendon Walsh, and she's like also a scientist, and you learn that she's been alive for like forever.
Nice.
Since the event happened.
Yeah, of course.
And another character that is probably my favorite character is their little robot roommate named Bimo, and they also play video games on his face.
Yes.
And that is played by Nikki Yang, and she also plays Rainicorn, who is Finn's girlfriend who only speaks Korean and is a giant rainbow unicorn.
Hell yes.
Yeah, and you get to meet her family, and eventually they have puppies that are both Magic Dog and...
Nice.
Yeah, and you also find out that maybe Jake isn't a Magic Dog.
Oh my god.
It gets real weird. A big bad guy throughout the series is the Lich.
Ooh,
the Lich, he kind of causes that big apocalyptic event.
Huh.
Yes, and keeps on trying to bring it back. There's like these big heroes in the background, like Billy the Warrior, who helped defeat the Lich in the past. And there's this book called the Economicon or something like that. I forget. But there's like all this great like fantasy stuff that's like a slight reference, but goofballed into like soft. Oh my god. So there's just like all this like great background lore for this really, really goofy cartoon.
Hell yeah.
And it's always fun to watch. Sometimes it gets super serious and they deal with shit, and it's a lot of fun. The mechanics of the world kind of blow my mind a little bit sometimes because it's silly, but it's thought out.
Yeah.
And also, Finn dates a flame princess at one time, played by Jessica Sitko, just so you know. And I left out a whole bunch of other characters.
And we probably got names wrong for those people
Right.
out there.
Yeah, a lot of voice actors that you don't really hear them given accolades. A lot.
So sorry if we get names wrong.
Right.
We do that on this show.
Yeah, we do that.
This is an easy mash.
All right, I got one.
I've watched a lot of this show already. I haven't ever finished it, but I'm happy that was like a confirmed thing, because that was always my opinion, was that it was just a nuclear apocalypse.
Right.
So that's fun.
Yeah.
I love it. It's fucking crazy and goofy, and it's exactly what I want from an animation, which is goofy, but it can get serious and pull the rug out from under you.
Yes.
And you're just like, oh fuck. It's like Futurama still has like the best episode ever of doing that, Jurassic Park. That episode hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Adventure Time does that enough that it's wonderful. So
yes, it is a wonderful, wonderful show. I think after it was all said and done, and they made all of their goofy shit make so much sense to this world, that I think it's a perfect show. It gets a face and a half. And I will watch it again. I could turn it on again tomorrow at the very beginning.
fuck.
There are these specials. Another thing that happens during the run of the show in the latter seasons, they'll cut out a chunk of it that is a grand adventure, like a 4 to 6 episode arc, right? And that was all really fun when they started doing that, and that's how a lot of the stuff gets explained and stuff like that.
It's very Doctor Who-y.
Yeah. And then after the show was over, they came back with 4 or 6 specials, I can't remember, but they were all they were 46 minutes long each.
Jeez.
And the first one was just BMO.
Hell yeah.
And it was great. And the next one, Finn and Jake are dead.
Oh.
And it's the afterlife.
Oh.
And they're trying, and Finn is trying to find Jake, and it's actually really great.
That's amazing, though.
Next one is Marceline. Oh, Marceline, the Vampire Queen.
Yeah.
How did I forget about her?
I was gonna say, you also gotta give recognition to Pendleton Ward for the whole damn thing.
Yes, that is true. That is very true. And also Lumpy Space Princess. They're amazing too.
That's his voice.
That's his voice, yeah. And Marceline is Olivia Olson. I don't remember what the other two or others... Oh, one of them was about Wizard City and Peppermint Butler going to wizard school.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay. I believe it is your turn again.
Yep. Figure out the fangled device.
It's fangled. You got 5 minutes. Tell me.
My victorious decision here. I can waste time on this one because it's easy. It's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Currently, my favorite movie of the year. It's going to be hard to knock down. I've seen it twice now. I went back to the theaters. I was going to go see the new Pixar movie, Elementals. But I was just like, you know what? That's going to be out on Disney Plus in probably 2 or 3 months. I'll watch it then.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to watch Across the Spider-Verse again because fuck yeah. Across the Spider-Verse, it takes up pretty much not too long after Into the Spider-Verse. Maybe like a year or two later. Miles is doing great as Spider-Man. He's voiced by Shameik Moore. He's growing up. He's more confident in himself, more confident in his abilities. He knows he is Spider-Man. He can do what Spider-Man can do.
He's not just like a Spider-Man in training. He is Spider-Man.
He is Spider-Man. And he's doing pretty good, except he's kind of hurting in school a bit. And on his way to a parent-teacher conference kind of thing. His parents are waiting for him, and the counselor's just like, he's late again. Meanwhile... Miles Morales, he's fighting, he's watching a new villain that he's never come across before, raid a gas station kind of thing, like a convenience store. He's raiding a convenience store. That threw me off.
He's raiding a convenience store.
And that villain is Spot, who comes, I won't say where he comes from. I don't want to spoil it for you. But Spot has this interdimensional ability. He has all these spots all over him, and he can put them on things, reach through them, and go to a new area. So, like, what he's trying to do is he goes to that convenience store, puts a spot on the ATM machine, ATM, and he is trying to reach through there to get all the cash. Problem is, at this point in the movie, Spot doesn't really know his abilities that well, and so he's kind of struggling to get the exact location of the cash. It's like he'll go into the hole, and his hand pops out and grabs a yoo-hoo, and he's like, fuck, dang it, that's not what I wanted. And Miles tries to...
Wouldn't they be able to tell it was cold?
But Miles tries to, he tries to stop this. It's kind of humorous what happens, things that ensue. Miles isn't really taking it too seriously. He's like, you're just a villain of the week, bud. Like, this is going to be fun. And turns out that Spot doesn't like being called villain of the week. That kind of gets to him a bit. It gets under his skin, if you will. And
I'm not condiment.
I am not villain of the week material. He is a super villain, and he has a big bad super villain plan. In the process of this plan unfolding, Miles has been missing his friends. Peter B. Parker, voiced by Jake Johnson, and Gwen Stacy, voiced by Haley Steinfeld, Hawkeye's Hawk Girl, whatever you want to call her in the Hawkeye show.
You mean Kate Bishop?
Thank you, that's her name. Yes. Does great. All three of them are great, beautiful voice actors here. And then Jason Schwartzman does the Spot, which is hilarious. Jason Schwartzman's always great.
Yeah.
But yeah, they visit again. They haven't visited him at all. But when they visit, they have these little bands that allow them to just like travel across, the multiverse. And, Miles is a little bit like, if you have this ability, why haven't you come said hello to me? Like, I thought you guys were my friends. I don't really have friends here. 1 minute. And, that causes trouble. He follows them across the multiverse, like trying to fix issues that have happened with Spot. And across the multiverse, he comes across Pavitra Prabhakar, played by Karen Soni, known as Spider-Man India.
Okay.
Karen Soni, the voice actor, is Dopinder from the Deadpool movies. Fucking great. I love Pavitra Prabhakar. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I probably am.
Yeah.
He's great. He's probably one of my favorite things about the movie. Everything's beautiful. Like, really, everything's beautiful. And
I really want to see just him now.
Yeah. Oh, and when he gets across, I won't wait. I won't spend the last of my minute.
You won't spend the last of it because it's gone.
It's gone.
Okay. Yeah. I give it a mash.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right.
My real thoughts on it. I'm not lying. Everything's the greatest.
Good.
When he goes across, what I was going to say there, when he goes across multiverses, I need to talk about some of the Spider-Men that he meets, because he meets a society of Spider-Men who are trying to preserve the web, the multiversal web of Spider-Men. The leader of this is played by Oscar Isaac. He is playing Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, he's in charge. And Miguel he's like a ninja vampire. He's got like a crazy little backstory, and it's just like Into the Spider-Verse, where they go into these quick, like, exposition heavy, like, backstory details for all the characters, and it's just as fun as Into the Spider-Verse was. Better animation, which is like impossible to believe. It needs to be said that a lot of animators did quit this movie because of rough conditions. They said it was really hard to do a lot of the stuff that was being asked of them. So that is important to say, but they literally bled for this project, and it shows. It's fucking beautiful. So to the people who had to leave, I'm sorry that the conditions were rough, but your efforts are fucking noticed, because this movie is amazing in regards to its animation. Specifically, in my opinion, the animation of two specific characters. Hobie Brown, Spider-Punk.
Okay.
Hobie Brown is voiced by Daniel Kaluuya.
He doesn't like Spider-Punk.
He doesn't like Spider-Punk, I guess. Yeah. In this movie, he doesn't really seem to care too much. He doesn't like non-conformity kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just like, whatever's against the grain, he loves that.
Yeah.
But he's voiced by Daniel Kaluuya, and he is probably the best thing about this movie, in my opinion. I love Hobie Brown. He's fucking hilarious, and the animation around him is good. It's so cool. Like, I really loved how all these, like, different animation styles blend so perfectly together. Oh, that's really including live action. There's even some live action moments that just feel natural. Like, there's a moment where they visit the Venomverse. Very small. It's like literally just like a less than like 2-minute scene, but it's just funny. It's like it's just a funny scene they didn't need to have, but they did have it because it's a Sony movie, and Sony needs to remind you we have this other thing.
Yeah, please watch our movies.
But it doesn't feel shoehorned in, though. It feels natural. It feels like part of the humor of Phil Lord and Chris. I'm gonna get his name wrong. I want to say Christopher Miller. Those guys are amazing. Like, everybody knows by now that Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, they do good stuff. They've been nonstop, like the Lego Batman movie and the Lego movie. Like, yeah, these guys are just, they've become cinema gold in regards to what they can do. Specifically in animation. But this movie, easily 4 stars. And the other animation, because I said they did it with 2 characters, I forgot. Gwen Stacy. Oh, nice. Gwen Stacy, her colors in the movie are very predominantly trans colors. It's light blue and pink. Like, all of her animation is always like that. Nice. She's got a trans flag in her room. So it's just like the animators and Gwen Stacy, it's possible that, there's a lot of rumors that her character's trans female. I don't think so. I think it's still, even just as an ally, that is important. Yeah. And just having her animation style be that, having her have a flag in her room, her father, who is Captain Stacy of the police, he's got a flag on his uniform. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's nice just seeing that in this world there's allies too. Yeah. So it's so fucking good. I love this really movie. Good. And it ends on a cliffhanger.
Oh shit.
Yeah. They're setting up a great trilogy. And I'm excited for it, man.
All right. So it is a mash, as I've already said. I think it is time for a quick water pop break.
Indeed.
What do you think?
Yes.
All right, sounds good. All right, we will be right back.
After these commercial messages.
I love you.
Okie dokie.
Artichoke.
I think we're back.
Back attack.
Okay, now we're actually back. And I'm here to talk to you. I gotta start a timer first.
Oh, yeah, you cheater.
I don't cheat. I don't like cheating. I got 5 minutes. And I am going to describe to you... I got really loud there. I'm going to try to convince you to watch the television series called Grimm. Now, you might be like, ooh, is that like the Grim Reaper or something? No, thanks.
Brothers Grimm.
Thank you. Thank the Brothers Grimm.
That's where I go first.
Yeah, that's where you go first. Okay, well, I was just trying to play a little, but that's all right.
That's all right, yeah.
Anyhow, Nick Burkhardt, a Portland police officer, detective, finds out that he is a descendant of the Brothers Grimm, who are able to see these people that are also creature-esque.
Ooh.
Okay,
yes.
So...
Is this Portland, Oregon?
They call...
Maine?
Portland, Oregon. Thank you. And I might even be wrong in that. It might... sometimes it's in Seattle. I don't remember.
Oh, no.
But anyways, it doesn't matter. Nick Burkhardt, did I say that he's played by David Giuntoli? I didn't say that because I've never had that in my mouth before. His partner's name is Hank Griffin, played by Russell Hornsby, and he knows nothing about it. His police partner, okay. Yes. He is dating a woman named Juliet Silverton, played by Elizabeth Tulloch. And they are living together. They're long term. In fact, at the beginning, they're like thinking about getting engaged and stuff. But he starts acting weird because this shit all of a sudden happens to him. Like he never saw this shit before, and all of a sudden he's seeing it everywhere. And there's all these different creatures like hexen beasts that are like witches. Blue button that are kind of like werewolves, but there's all different kind of like Canadian, you know what I'm trying to say.
Things.
Canadian things. And one of the Canadian things is Monroe, who becomes his best friend and the person who really introduces him to this world of Vesson, which are these creatures. There's also ice beavers. They're like beavers. And they're always scared and stuff. And one of their name is Bud, played by Danny Bruno, and he's just like the sweetest little fix-it guy. And when they get emotional, they show themselves. It's called voguing in the show.
Nice. And
when they do that, Nick's able to see, but they're also able to see that he's a Grimm, like his eyes turn pitch black to these people. So they're always freaking out whenever they figure out that he's a Grimm, and then running away from him or attacking them if they're a more vicious type of Vesson.
Gotcha.
And so he ends up killing a whole lot of people, and eventually has to bring Hank in on it. Also, his captain, Sean Renard, is sometimes a villain and is also a Vesson, and that's played by Sasha Royes. And there's also Sergeant Wu, who's a big part of their crime-solving team, played by Reggie Lee.
Nice.
And Reggie Lee and Russell Hornsby, I don't think get enough screen time or credit in the show. They have some fun bits. I think they're both talented people. Thank you. And they don't quite get enough in there. That's one thing that I say against the show, which I'm not supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be pitching it to you.
It helps.
I also want to talk to you about Rosalie Calvert, who's played by Bree Turner, and eventually marries Monroe, and she runs this spice shop that they use quite often to make like little poultices and potions and stuff like that.
That's fun.
Yeah, and that's a fun element of the show. And there's also like telekinesis and stuff going on, and like prophecies and keys that lead to treasures in the middle of the Black Forest.
Oh, that's cool.
And what else is in this show? That's enough, right?
Can I ask a qualifying question?
Yes.
How CW-ish is this show? You're trying to figure out like how will this help sway me?
Very. It's very Monster of the Week.
Ooh, okay, that does hurt it a bit. I still think I have interest. I still think it's a mash.
Nice.
Yeah, I like this like weird, like Charmed is like one of my favorite shows. Like, you know, it's like I like that kind of weird out
high
there
concept
thing. And Monster of the Week does hurt, but every now and then you just kind of need Monster of the Week shows.
It's very, I will say it was a lot of fun to have on the background while we played Civ and stuff. It's good not to take it too seriously because there are like storylines that pop up that seem like they don't go anywhere until somebody's like, hey, I was trying to do something like with this, and it's like season 6, so we better get going.
I get the ball rolling on this one. Doomsday's a thing. We're gonna end this show.
But yeah, I do think they're really creative with making all these different creatures and stuff and coming up with names with them. Like they use Spanish names and stuff, and like they explain that he has this like big family tree out there that's been thinned out over the years by differing organizations within the Vests, and there's a lot of lore to it, so that part's fun.
Is he related to the Grimms?
Yes, he is a long-time descendant from them. So and like they weren't the first either, but their name has become so popular that in Western culture anyways, the people that are able to see are called Grimms.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
I give it a full face. I did enjoy watching it. There are some problems and it can be very silly.
But not 100% full face, just a face.
Just a face, yes.
Alrighty.
I did like it.
My turn yet again here.
Here we go. You got 5 minutes on the clock.
Oh my goodness. This is fun. It's The Flash. A lot of controversy surrounding this movie going in, and I was happy to say...
Might make it a hard sell.
It could make it a hard sell, but I think what sells is the fact that I walked away happy. I came out actually like, that was fun. Like, it was, it's on par with, it's way over Aquaman. Like, but it's not like Wonder Woman level. Okay. It's just underneath those areas where it's like, it's just fun. It seems like, James Gunn, like, given everything that he said about it and everything, he seems like he's trying to sell the movie. And, of course, he's the new president of this project. Right. Co-president. So it's like, of course he's going to try to sell his movie. But it does actually seem like it clears things up for him to just clean the slate and just be like, this is the Gunn universe now. It's got no ties. It's got some ties. Maybe some actors will come back. But, this is it. This is like the capstone to the Snyderverse. And it has just as much fun and like circular storytelling as you would want from something that finishes the Snyderverse. You got Andy Muschietti directing after a long list of directors got changed in and out. Andy Muschietti, he did the It movies. So he jumped from there to here. And he handles it pretty well. The action's fine. There's a lot of really good action. The story is Ezra Miller plays the Flash, as we know. And the Flash is, at the beginning, pretty much struggling with the fact that he is kind of a useless Justice League member. They call him in to do cleanup. At the beginning, Batman calls him in to handle a building exploding, and it's a hospital. And Batman's like, I've already got everything cleared out, but they couldn't move the newborns. And so, Barry's first job, and it's a very hilarious, like, opening intro scene that's in slow motion, is Barry having to catch all of these newborn babies from an exploding building. Yikes. He's going as fast as he can. Right. Everything's breaking in slow motion. Their necks. Yeah, well, I mean, it shows him, like, literally, like, doing all the physical things possible to be, like, as quiet and careful as possible, bringing them into the Speed Force and everything, so that it's like it all makes sense. He puts one of them in a microwave. I don't know why. It's weird, but it's kind of funny. But like that's how he's feeling right now. He's feeling kind of useless in a way. Like, you know, he's a detective. And yet, the Justice League already has a detective in the form of Batman, the world's greatest detective. Yeah. So it's just like,
but what is his... Is he not much of a scientist?
He is a scientist too. Okay. So like, there's a lot to Barry, but he just feels very unneeded. You know, he's kind of the joke character too. He makes a lot of jokes, and he acknowledges that he is like the jokey person. Mm-hmm. And you know, he wants to the big thing is he wants to resolve what's going on with his dad right now. His dad's about to come up for parole. Well, there's also new evidence too that might relieve his father. Be like, his father was elsewhere when the murder of Barry's mom happened. His father could be innocent. Sadly, that footage, this new footage that they've got, this evidence, doesn't really pan out, and so it's not looking good for his dad. So Barry's just feeling in a bad place. He goes running, and in his running, he goes into time. You know, he enters the chrono ball or whatever they call it, and in there, you know, he runs back in time and goes to a place where his mom's still alive, and he goes, "I can do something with this." And
I thought they were going to be doing that.
Bad things happen because he changes the universe. And there's he goes back to the future, but he doesn't go far enough. He goes to a time where there is still another Barry Allen. And so he's disrupted the whole future of everything, and now this Barry gets new powers, and so
different powers.
No, he gets the same powers, but he's got powers, whereas our Barry doesn't. Oh, and so our Barry, who knows the Speed Force, has to kind of, you know, teach rookie Barry how to use the Speed Force. Oh my God. Because he's got to fix everything, because he's really fucked up big, because Batman is now Michael Keaton and is no longer Ben Affleck.
And that's so bad. That's so awful.
It's not that bad, but he's got to fix it.
I'm not going to rush out to the theater, but I do want to watch it.
Nice.
Because for one, I know it's going to kickstart this new verse that they're going to be doing. At the very least, it seemed like Tom Gunn is James Gunn.
Top Gun?
It seems like it wants to use this as a jumping off point.
Yeah, and I will say, so you're saying it's a mash?
I'm saying it's a mash.
Hell yeah.
Yes. I feel like you might have been distracted.
No, I was a little distracted, but I still was serious about it. It was actually good. I will say, without ruining the movie, I don't think he's using it as a jumping off point. I think he's using it as a capstone. He's like, this is the end of the Snyderverse. My verse will be entirely different, like universe. Okay. We're not going back to, because the movie ends with Barry. Not to spoil things, he goes back to what's supposed to be his timeline. Things that you see there,
Gus is there.
I would love to tell you that that's the case. I would love to tell you that that's the case. But things in that time at the end of this movie, I don't think will be carrying over to the James Gunn universe. I think he's going to be creating his own universe. He might still be recasting the Flash.
Well, he said that he liked the movie.
He did like the movie. He did say that.
Yeah.
To sell it.
I'm still to sell it.
Maybe he actually liked it. It's possible. I don't want to speak for the man.
I do feel like my main setback is that Ezra Miller did some shit.
Yeah, there's some controversy there. And you know, if it's gonna be I agree with you. I agree with that controversy. I understand that Ezra Miller's trying to help themselves, going through therapy and everything. There is a literal joke in this movie of Ezra Miller talking to somebody about the Justice League, and he's just like, the Justice League, you know, we've got an insurance, so we've got like a health, you know, a mental health network, but it's really not that good. Trust me, I know. And I was just like, ooh, there's so many jokes that are made like that feel meta, but I'm just like, I don't know, that's in good taste, man. Like it feels very weird.
Somebody thought it would be a good It's like, yeah, we'll just.
But I mean,
play it
even
off
the baby
as-
in the microwave that I talked about, like,
yes.
it's funny when it happens because it's just like, did he just put a baby in a microwave? What's going on with this movie? Like, it's really funny. But then, like, when he lands and everything, you know, he brings all the babies down, everybody's fine and happy. The microwave dings, which, as somebody pointed out, that means that in putting them in the microwave, even though it's not connected to anything, he still hit the buttons. So Barry, even though he knew that the microwave wouldn't cook or anything, he still did it. Like, it's really weird.
That's
but
so fucked
it is a
up.
funny scene.
Oh.
I wish I had better. Its biggest issue. There's a lot of issues. They bring back Michael Shannon as Zod. I liked him as Zod. Michael Shannon was fine in Man of Steel. They don't really use him that much. He's kind of just in the backward. Yeah, and it's just like it's to deliver a third act finale that is interesting. It's still flawed,
Right.
and the thing I will give them credit for is giving an annoying Barry Allen an even younger and even more annoying Barry Allen really helps his character develop. It makes him realize this is how annoying I am. Yeah, and he realizes that throughout this whole movie. He's just like, am I really this bad? I definitely might need to seek some kind of help. Like, I might, this might be why my team uses me to clean things up, because I just annoy them all the fucking time. Like, it's really, it is a good decision. But its biggest flaw that I was going to talk about before I talked about Michael Shannon, I messed up. He's not the biggest flaw. The biggest flaw is the CGI. No. It looks awful. That's awful. Yeah, there's so many moments. They go into the chronosphere and like they try to do like 300 like CGI effects. And I hate the 300 CGI effects. Like, no offense, Zack Snyder, but
it worked for that movie.
It did, I guess, work for that movie. I still think that those effects look ugly as sin. And here, it even looked uglier. Like, whenever he goes into that chronosphere, everything is CGI and it looks stupid. And I'm just like, oh, why? Like, I read a hilarious statement from one of the visual effects artists, which was, if it looks like it was done in a week, it was.
Oh, no.
And so it was just like, oof, you don't want to hear that kind of stuff.
Well, I did hear there was a lot of back and forth, a lot of production hell on this one.
Yeah, people were changing things left and right. They were trying to get Christian Bale to come back. He didn't want to come back. Michael Keaton is great. He does come back as Batman, does a great job. Ben Affleck, he said it in a podcast that he finally nailed the Batman role. I agree. He did an amazing Batman in this movie. Nice. It was actually really fun. Like, I mean, it's mostly just talk. Yeah. Like, he doesn't do a lot of action. It's mostly just his voice over a kind of thing. But
he is a detective. Yeah. Like, I feel like we lack that part of Batman a lot in these newer movies. I hope James Gunn... Yeah. I did it right this time. I hope James Gunn makes more detective.
Because Robert Pattinson's is very detective-y, and I love it. Like, it's very brutal and noir.
That is getting a second one, right?
Yeah, it is. It's going to be its own verse. That's its own little bubble world. It's not going to be part of James Gunn's. I don't think, for those out there who have seen the Flash movie, or for those who don't, I mean, I'm not going to spoil it for you, they do reveal a Batman at the end that is not Bruce, that is not Ben Affleck or Michael Keaton. And so it signifies that, while Barry might have fixed the timeline, he still altered the timeline of his world. I won't spoil who that Batman is, but I will say I do not think that that's the Batman James Gunn's going for. Okay. So I think there's a lot of people out there who are like, is this James Gunn's Batman? I'm like, I don't think so. I think it was just a funny thing for the end of the movie, and they're going to start with a completely new Batman for his universe. But I give it 3 stars. It surprised me. It was good.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go. All right. So I think we got 2 each. You're done. I got the home field advantage here, I guess. Uh-huh. And I got 5 minutes. So I'm going to talk to you about Amazon Prime's period comedy called The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. So, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is about a comedian, as they call her, starting her career back in the late 50s. And this character is played by Rachel Brosnahan. And she plays Miriam Midge Maisel. And Midge is, in the beginning, married to Joel Maisel, played by Michael Zegan. And he leaves her to go be with his secretary. That doesn't last very long. But, Midge has a breakdown.
Yeah. And
she runs down in her slip and robe and slippers down to the nightclub called the Gaslight, ran by Susie Meyerson, played by Alex Borstein.
Yes.
And Louise. Lois. Thank you.
Family Guy's Lois.
From Family Guy.
Peter.
Yes, exactly. Also, when we were kids, they were on Mad TV.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And in the Catwoman movie.
Oh, fuck.
So, anyhow, I love them in this. Susie Meyerson is a very, very masculine presenting woman.
Nice.
And she is very tough, likes to wear men's clothing and leather jackets. She has this like newsboy cap to start off with. She's a great character. And anyhow, Midge has this breakdown, goes down to the club, and then just gets up there and starts improv comedy, talking about how her husband left her for his secretary. And it's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's hilarious. And it ends with her flashing the audience and she gets arrested. And I believe Susie bails her out in that scene, but I'm not entirely sure. She also meets Lenny Bruce very early on, who is a real-life comedian. Lenny is played by Luke Kirby in the show, and he pops in and out, sometimes lover, I will spoil that, of Midge Maisel. And she keeps the name Maisel for Mrs. Maisel because she was always very happy with that name change. It changed from Weissman, and that brings me to her family, the Weissmans. They are amazing. Abe Weissman is played by Tony Shalhoub, thank you.
Monk.
From Monk, and he is amazing, and I'm a big fan, and I should know how to say your name, so I apologize.
I love him.
He's so hilarious. I've never seen a part that I've disliked from him because he's also just extremely talented.
Yeah.
Like, he can do both comedy and make you very, very sad. Mm-hmm. He's an amazing patriarch in this family, and he... at first is very much feels like he's in that role, the patriarch, the boss of the family. Yeah. And his arc is, letting go of that, becoming proud of his daughter and stuff like that. It takes Rose even longer, his wife, to be proud of Miriam because she kind of elates her career to prostitution. Oh, no. But Marion Hinkle plays Rose, and she is just a beautiful woman, and she has lived her whole life to be a beautiful woman. She's very classic housewife. This event of Miriam becoming a comedian totally flips the Weissman's life upside down to where they become homeless at one point.
Oh, shit.
They, eventually Abe becomes a theater critic, and Rose ends up running a matchmaking company.
Hell yeah.
So they all start to follow their dreams because Midge started following hers. That's great.
You're helped on this one, I think. There's another show that has a very similar title that's going on right now. And I always get them mixed up. I can't remember what that other show is at all.
Okay.
But I think this is the one that my friends at work have been telling me to watch.
I see.
Is it on only 4 seasons or whatever?
It's got, I think, 6. I think the 6th one, it just finished. It had its final season. Very satisfying ending.
Was the season before that a bit of a slump? I can't remember. I know my friend. I know one friend who's been.
It might only be 4 seasons, but I'm trying to think. I don't know. I wouldn't say so.
Okay, I can't remember. That my one friend who's been recommending the show has been telling me. She's like, "Oh, it's so good. The last season kind of sucked, but this season was great." She really liked it. The last season just came out,
right?
soon,
Yes, it's just finished.
Okay, so I think it would be this show. And for that,
I could see why some people might. Well, that's awesome. That means I win, but I will say that I do actually very much like this show.
Nice.
There are some problems, like there's stuff that happens in the second season that seem like they're going to be a big deal and just don't matter in the third season.
Yeah,
and that kind of happens into the fourth season as well. But by that time, it makes sense. Like it's it just. Because she is a woman, she keeps on getting crapped on.
Yeah.
And her career keeps on like rising and then crashing because she won't do something or she did something that was seen as
lewd
or something
wrong. Yeah.
Exactly. And
taboo.
It ends with both her and Susie being very famous.
Nice.
And Susie is a world famous manager at the end of it. He's managed a whole bunch of people. Like they list I think Jeremy Irons is on the list.
Hell yeah.
And like just a whole bunch of people, like people who are begging to go work with her and she's like, nah.
Yeah. Jeremy Irons is in The Flash. They bring his Alfred back.
Okay, nice. Yeah. I did actually like him as Alfred.
Yeah,
I think
he's still great. Yeah.
But yeah, I give it 100% a full face. Yeah, I did really enjoy it though. It is nice to be able to watch something and know that you're both going to laugh really hard about it and maybe cry a little bit.
Damn it.
But I really like it. It's good. It's so good. Because like you really feel for Midge, even though she is a pampered little rich girl. Also, both the families are all Jewish, so you do learn a lot about Jewish culture, especially in the mid-century. Yeah. Hell yeah! I think we did a show.
We did it. It's been fun. Blake's ahead.
Yeah.
running totals.
Yes. So I guess that means I won the last two.
It's like it's bowling rules when you get to the 10th frame.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Well.
Hell yeah.
That's it.
You are the Faceless Leon.
And
stretchiest experiment on Earth.
Yes. And they are the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
That's so hard for my brain to do.
Good riddance. And good night.